Hello everyone and welcome to the Rising Giant, Incredible Journeys Behind podcast. Today I have another guest and she is an absolute legend. She's coming from Spain and she has played for some of the biggest clubs across the world. She played in 8 different countries and she's a pioneer of Spanish and world women's football, paving a way for this generation of Spanish World Cup winners. Among many trophies, she is also the first Spanish footballer or women's footballer named for Ballon d'Or and also the first Spanish player who won Champions League. With an absolute honor and without further ado, Vero Boquete.
Fantastic presentation. Good job.
Well, my friend, you have an incredible career. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for saying yes. Finally, I've been running around and behind you for a few years now. I remember whenever you were still in Fiorentina, I tried to get you on the podcast, and
here we are.
As fate wanted, we are teammates again, and you're here. So really an honor, and thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, and finally we have our time to chat, and I hope it's a good conversation.
No, I'm sure, like with just knowing you and knowing your career, I'm sure it's going to be a very good one. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Let's start at the beginning. When, where, why you started to play football?
I think I started to walk and I started to play. My dad is a football coach. I have an older brother, so I wanted to do the same that he was doing. And both of them, they were always playing at home, on the street, at the park. I was doing exactly the same. So I started to walk, I started to play. First there with my friends, and then when I was 5-6 years old, I entered in the neighborhood club, and from them until I was 15, I was playing with boys. And after that, just with girls, women, always trying to enjoy the sport, because in my mind there was no option to become a real professional football player, but then it just happened.
How, like you said, I didn't know that your dad was a coach. How is having dad as a coach? Obviously, probably one side is good, on the other side it can be very intense.
He was never my own coach. Of course, he was, because at home we were always training with him. But he was always pushing us in the good way. So the most intense thing was like, you have to do the same thing with the right and with the left. So in the beginning, when you are little and you don't have that much ability in your weaker feet, you say, I just do it with the right, and like then you cannot play. And then my brother was doing it, so then I have to do it too, and that was the most intense thing. Then of course he was always coming to our games, and after the game you arrive home and you always talk about the game, and he will tell you, I think this or this, but like so many times at the stadiums or the field, like people didn't know that he was my dad, because he was just watching the game and silence, and then some people was saying, oh, that girl is really good. And after the game I will come to him, and the other parents will be like, oh, but it's your daughter, you didn't say anything. Like, yeah, like, just let her do her thing.
Well, I think that's very mature from him, because I remember when I was a kid, majority of the parents were coaches. They were just making the kid confused, because they were yelling inside, they were saying things, how they were coaching their kids from the sideline, and then there was also a coach, and a lot of those kids felt a lot of pressure and confusion. So I think it's very mature from him to be quiet and not intervene in that case?
Yeah, I think that himself, being a coach, probably he didn't like that part. The parents talking too much, so he was never invasive in that sense. And yeah, maybe then he was not agree with things, or then at home we discuss different things. But yeah, in that part, he just pushing me in the good way, but never from the stands yelling or telling me what I should do.
That's nice, and he was obviously doing you a huge favor, trying to teach you with both legs, because you know, especially in women's football, I feel like there's still, even if the level is growing a lot, there's still not many girls who have two legs that are the same.
Yeah, but even in men's football, in the highest level, you see some mistakes from players that they are in the highest level that you say, oh, why he didn't control it with the right or with the left, or why he didn't shoot, and it's because they don't feel comfortable with that leg. So obviously now it's not that I'm the same with right or left, but I can use both legs, and I can do practically everything with both, and in a good level, and that make me better.
You know, funny thing, I just remembered when you were saying that, the other day Eli, our teammate, was telling me, you know what Vero told me? She was like, when she's in, you know, when she feels maybe that her right foot is not great, maybe she feels some pain, she just do things with her left. So she told me to do the same, and I said to her, she's crazy, because I can't do this with my left. So yeah, I just now thinking of it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, but even that. Definitely it helped me in my career, because sometimes you have like some muscle discomfort, like maybe your quad, or and then it's like if my right quad is tight, I can do everything with my left foot, so my left leg, and that helps you to keep training at a higher level. And I think that sometimes like players have to miss a few trainings because of some problems. And in that case, I just use my mind quicker, and I just try to adapt, orientating the body, or preparing myself to shoot with the other leg, and just to have the ability to play with both legs, I think is a great thing.
Yeah, it's a great advantage. You said that obviously whenever you were a kid, you didn't think playing professionally it's an option. First, how were the circumstances in Spain in women's football at that time, whenever you were still there, whenever you were young? And when was the time that you realized, oh, well, I can be a professional football player?
So when I started to play, like, I didn't know that to be a professional football player was an option. I didn't know that there was a league. I didn't know there was a national team, that I could play a World Cup or a Euro Cup. I'm from a really small city in the north of Spain, where everything arrives later than in the rest of Spain. So I think when I was like 15, 16, I got the first call for the national team, under 19. And when I arrived to Madrid, I was like, oh, there are other girls that also play.
So you were still playing with the boys at that time?
Yeah. So I was finishing with the boys and starting to go with the women that they have like maybe 25, 30 years old, and I was like 15. So yeah, when I arrived there, I was like, okay, there are other girls, there are way more teams in other cities in Spain. There is an older national team that, okay, is not a good one, but you can play. And then I start to get more information, like there are other leagues in the world that in that time was like the American League was already professional. So it was that moment that I realized that I might have a chance. So then if it depends on me, then I will do everything that is in my hand. And I think that it was in that moment that my idea to become professional started, and until I arrived to that point, I never stopped.
And how was playing with the, you said like the other girls were so much older than you. They probably had different skills. How was being on that team that it's maybe someone already knows how to play football, someone just started?
Yeah, I mean, it was no a new thing because even with the boys, so many times I got called for older teams. Like at some point I was even training or playing with my brother team that was like 3 years older, and that in guys is a big difference. But my level of football was good enough to do that. So then when I started with the women team, I was always training or playing with older girls. So for me, I didn't care if they were older or younger. Like I just wanted to play, and I always tried to adapt to every situation. Since I was 5 years old, playing with boys, and then with older women, like then in all my career, playing in different countries, different quality of players. For me, that is, it had never been a problem. And yeah, like I enjoyed also being with older people. I think that that helped me to be more mature at a younger age. And that helped me in the future in my career.
And when was the first time you signed a professional contract? Was that still in Spain or abroad?
For me, it was in Spain because maybe the league didn't have the title as a professional league. But I always say, like, I'm professional since the moment that I get paid and I live thanks to that. And that happened in Spain. I moved to Zaragoza. I started to go to college there, and at the same time playing professional for the team of that city, and playing in Spanish First Division. I was there for 3 years. I remember I have the chance to go to better teams, because that team was like a promoted one, where kind of I was the biggest star, helping them to create a project, and the first year fighting for no going down, and I already have the option to go to clubs that were fighting for the title, but I decided to stay there, to play for be safe in the first division. And that experience also helped me a lot. I grew up a lot in those 3 years. And then I moved to Barcelona to play in Espanyol. At that time, one of the biggest clubs in women's football in Spain, and even in Europe, playing Champions League. And from there, I jumped into the American dream, and I went to US, and then I still didn't stop.
Yeah, before we go to USA, it's interesting that you stay with Zaragoza even though you had options to go to better clubs. You know, when we are young, we are usually like, oh, I want to go to the better. Why you decided to stay?
Because I wanted to play and I wanted to be important. Like I knew that if I was going to the teams that were fighting for the title, first thing, they didn't need me because they were already fighting for the title the years before. So I can go there and I can be, everything goes really well, and I play and I growing and I an important player, but maybe not. Maybe I need more time to adapt, or maybe the coach doesn't see me that much, or I have other great player in my position that has more experience. So in Zaragoza, I found the project that kind of moved around me. And at the time, I thought that it was the best for my career, to get better as a player, to push me in different ways, to handle the pressure, and to have the pressure of not going down. That is really different than the pressure to win a title. And now every player have the experience to live both of them experience.
And now, Spanish league is obviously one of the best leagues in Europe or in the world right now. Everyone kind of want to go there. All these big names, big clubs have, women's team, like conditions are good. What are the differences between then and now, like for example, I remember even when I got to Spain, we were training at night. We were the last one on the schedule, on the pitch, on the artificial grass. What were some things that you remember?
Yeah, that for sure was some of the memories that I have. Like big clothes because you didn't have the new jerseys, and you train at 9 p.m. Some players were having dinner before to go to training. Some teammates that were working and training and playing. Others were to college and then come for trainings. You travel by bus, so many hours, you play in the worst fields. So there are so many things that have been changing in the last years. And I mean, obviously it's a great, great news. I think I have I'm one of the few that can say that have been living all the process, because I played with boys because I was the only girl playing in my city. I have to face different situations that the girls now is like something that is not even imagined. Like I have to change myself or take the shower at home because there was no a place where I could change. I didn't have the respect in our own club, like people, no sponsors, anything, until playing in the best stadiums and with so many spectators, with the TV, World Cup, Euros. I think that I have seen all the process, and I mean, it's just great to see how much we improved our sport in the last years.
Obviously, you're still on the highest level. Would you, an interesting question, would you rather stay like you are, you know, living the entire thing, or do you wish that you would be younger and maybe just starting out now when everything is so much better?
Well, obviously, if I see the potential in the future, I will love to live now, this moment, and to have the next 10, 15 years to enjoy my profession in the highest level. That will mean that I will miss all that I have lived until now, and that's also a shame because I think it's also a part of me and my character. So it's a difficult choice, but yeah, like probably I will prefer to born now and don't have to do all the fights that I did and just enjoy my sport like all the young girls can do now.
Do you think you would be as strong as you are right now, like mentally and?
Probably no, or maybe yes. I don't know. When I say like my career and all that I have lived, it just make my character, that's a reality. And probably if I start to play now and I go directly to a top academy club and I stay there, great contracts, like probably my career will be so much different. So in that part, yeah, probably I will miss so many things, and maybe I know even in the level that I'm now. So then I stay with the part that I live, and it's okay. I'm happy with my career.
I mean, you should be like the way your career went, and like you have obviously it's still not over, but you already had such a great career. So, I mean, I would be happy as well if I would be you. Going to USA, how did that happen? Did you have an agent? Why you chose USA?
Yeah, I didn't have an agent, but this guy came to watch our training because he have like two players that were playing with me in Espanol. So he came to visit them, and he saw me in training. I was like, okay, that girl is really good. So he talked to me and said, I think you could have the chance to go and play in US. And in the beginning, I was like, well, I don't know. But then the season was coming to an end, and he contacted me again and said, you have the chance to go to play in US in the second division if you want to try and see what happens. And I say, okay, let's do it. And since then, he's my agent. So now, obviously, it's my agent. I'm one of my best friends, the only one that I had and the only one that I will have. So I went to Buffalo, Western New York, and I play in second division. I arrived in the end of the season just to be there 1 month. And we make it to the finals, and the finals were broadcasting in SPM. And some of the scouting from the professional league were also there in LA watching the finals. I scored in the final 2 goals. I was the MVP. And 2 days later, I have my flight to come back to Spain to again play with Espanyol that season. And my agent called me and say, what do you think about change your flight to Chicago? I said, like, to Chicago? Why? And he was like, oh, because you have an offer for the professional league for the end of the season. So then I said, like, of course I'm going. And I arrived there and directly to the training. And I started to train with the players that I was watching on TV. So it was Formiga and Cristiane from Brazil, Megan Rapinoe from US, like the captain of the national team too, like so many players that I never thought that I will have the chance. So the first day I was like, okay, I don't think that I'm in that level, you know. But then we start to play some rondos and some possession games, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm much better than some of them. And then I saw them reaction, and I was kind of like, oh, that girl is good. So then it was just a good connection, and I played right away, and the end of the season went well for me. And then the next year, I should come back to Chicago, but Chicago folded, has no money, and in US at that time, the league have your contract, and then Philadelphia picked my contract, and they wanted me. Also, my older club, Buffalo, we won, so we make it to the first league, so they also wanted me. And at the end, Philadelphia was the club that pushed more for me and give me the treatment as a top player in the league. So I went there after to play the full season with Espanyol and then come back to US because I was already compromised with the season in Espanyol. So I was for 4 years, no vacation. I was back and forth.
Because the league was in the summer
Europe.
there,
Yeah, so I will be in Europe until May, and then until October, November in US.
How did you manage that stress or that much physical demand on your body?
For me, it was great. I was young. If the season was good in one side, then I still have the motivation to do the same in the other country. If the season went bad in Europe, I have the chance to change it when I was in US. So I didn't have a negative impact. Mentally, I was fine. I just wanted to play and train every day. So for me, to be able to play the full year, it was great. Also because I was missing the preseason. So I was always playing, going into this crazy preseason. So I think it was the best 4 years of my career in that sense.
Well, yeah, it's nice that you don't need to run without the ball. And then you ended up in Sweden in the team full of stars. Mm-hmm. You were playing with Marta. How was that, the entire experience there?
It was a little crazy because the club was not a big club, but they present the project and they were really clear with what they wanted. And the first year and the second year, we're gonna win the title in Sweden, and we're gonna win the Champions League. So every time that any club says something about Champions League, my eyes were like open, because that was the competition that for me was the most important. So I say, okay, let's give them a chance. So I went to the Swedish league. That in that moment, I think it was the best one. Like Sweden and Germany were fighting for always for the best players, and I have the chance to join a team that was like really local and familiar, but at the same time, the big stars were coming there. So Caroline Seger was the first one, and then we started to hear rumors that we are signing Marta. I was like, no, there is no way. And they say that she's coming. I was like, no, there is no way. And one day she just arrived. And she opened the door of the locker room and she came, and I was like, oh my God, like she was my reference. Like it was the first player that I really knew about it, and she was the best in the world, and now I'm gonna be playing with her. And even better, I'm gonna be training with her every day. So and after 1-2 days that we were just in shock, then everything was normal. Like we just have good connection. Like we saw the game in the same way, and then outside of football we became really good friends. So I enjoyed to play with her, but I enjoyed also with Seger, with Kristen Press, with Ashley Harris, like so many good players. And we won the first year, and the second year we make it to the Champions League final. So actually everything was exactly how they planned it and how we wanted.
And then they pretty much lost all the money, or whatever, the club folded, right?
And again, they folded, like a really bad management. I think it was also like a clear example of the change that women's football was living. Like before, you have so many independent clubs that thanks to sponsors can survive, and they thought that with those sponsors they could survive, but then if a big sponsor say bye, then you have nothing else, because you don't have a club that gives you a budget, a stable one. Then we literally played the Champions League final and we left.
Wow, it's crazy.
So it was crazy, because also we make it to the Champions League final without getting paid for 4 or 5 months. And every player show up to every train fantastically good. We won the quarterfinals, we won the semifinals, and everyone was really focused on our goal. That was like, we have to play this final. So even though we were not getting paid, like we make it until the final. And so many people say that it's still until now the best Champions League final, or at least the most excited. For me, it was terrible because at the end we lost. But it's not easy to see a Champions League final that ends in a 3-2 with a lot of 2-0, then 2-2, then 3-2, then so I think it was really intense. Top teams, top players. But at the end, it was the best memory of my career, and also because since that day, then everyone was leaving the club.
And do you think that losing that final, even if it hurt, maybe like made you wanted to win even more, like, you know?
For sure. I remember I was seeing the players from Wolfsburg lifting the trophy in the stands. I was on the field. I was like, I don't know where I have to go, but next year I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna win the title. That's for sure. So at that moment, I didn't know where to go, because I was already going to US. I went to Portland, but then when I was coming back to Europe, I was in my mind was I have to choose a team, a club that give me the real chance to be back in a Champions League final, and that time be able to win. and that just happened.
Happened.
So I went to Portland, then I signed with Frankfurt in Germany, and we make it to the Champions League final. We played the final in Berlin against PSG, and we won 2-1.
And you became the first Spanish women's footballer to lift that trophy.
Yeah. I mean, now it's crazy because so many Spanish players have been winning the title with Barcelona or with other clubs. But at that time, it was huge because until that moment, nobody believed that a Spanish player could be playing in the highest level or winning a Champions League trophy.
Yeah, it's crazy, the shift that it happened. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about winning the Champions League and, playing with all these top players. Obviously, you one of them. When or if was the first time that you felt the true professionalism?
I think it was in US. When I went to US and I played in big stadiums with a lot of fans, people wanted your jersey, taking pictures. I remember in one of the first games that after the game you have to start to sign jerseys, and some of my teammates were signing, and I'm leaving, I'm tired of this. I was like, I'm good, I can be doing this for hours. So I was enjoying that moment because I never experienced that before. So in US, if you were saying I'm a football player, they will be, but professional? Yeah, I play for Chicago or Philadelphia or Portland. And they will be like, oh my God. Oh. So that respect, you didn't have it in other places at that time. So I was feeling really professional there. And I think that in the last years, national teams, big clubs, when I was in PSG or Bayern Munich, you start to feel really part of a big thing and have the conditions that it was crazy to imagine before.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I spoke with one of my friends, my teammate from the national team, who just signed with Utah Royals, one of your clubs, one of your exes. And she said she played for Frankfurt for I don't know how many years now, when they're already with the men's. And she said that she got there and she was like, wow, I've never experienced that before. Even though, she played in Germany, she played for so many years. She said it's a different world.
Yeah, and it is, because when you arrive there and you see the training facilities and then you see how you travel and then you go to the stadium and you have the same exactly treatment that the men team, and then you see the fans and how the Americans do the event, the game day and everything. Yeah, you feel part of something really professional. And I think that now in Europe you have more or less the same in the big clubs, big competitions, but some years ago it was just possible in US.
Yeah, but it was funny because obviously she's never been to USA before, and she called me before she decided and before she signed, and she was like, I don't know, but here's Champions League and I've been a part of this for so long. And I said, you're crazy. They're offering you a great contract. It's a different world. You have to experience that. And now she's like, yeah, I'm very glad that I did that. So speaking about big clubs, you played for Bayern, you played for AC Milan, Fiorentina, PSG, top men clubs. How was it? What is your maybe one of the favorite things that
I have different experience, and in Munich, I have a nice experience because at that time it was Pep Guardiola was the coach in the men team, and we have Xavi and Thiago and Javi Martinez. So one of the first days that I arrived to the sports center, they came to see me and to introduce themselves, and also Bayern Munich is a huge club, but it's a special club culture. So it's really a family. Like I remember, like I was eating there in the sports center, and the first thing was just training there. So I will be eating at the same time that they were there. So you see them, like then you were eating with the president in the same table. Like it was a really nice club culture. And that I really enjoy it. Then PSG was a little different because the club also was like a kind of coming together in everything. It started to become like a giant that is now. But of course, like when you start to do all the events and you go to the stadium, you play Champions League at the stadium, like those are experiences that it's just impossible to live in independent clubs like I was before. And here in Italy also I have good experience like Milan or my last 4 years in Fiorentina. I think that every country has their own things, and every club has their own things, and when you arrive, you just have to adapt and embrace everything, appreciate what it is, like don't just accept the things that, because there are so many things that we still have to change, but yeah, like I enjoy everything that I can in every place.
And there was so much to enjoy.
A lot.
You played in 8 different countries, China among them. How did you manage to adapt to all these different cultures, different languages? How long did you need to, get used to things?
Yeah, I think the hardest move was the first one. Like the first time I went to US, it was the hardest part because it was like, it's the first time I don't speak the language, I don't know how everything works. But after that, you just get used to, or at least is what I felt, that for me then to change to a new place, it was something that didn't get any stress. Like I just accept it, and I know how it's gonna be the process. I know that I have to be calm in the beginning. I know that I need a place where to stay and feel comfortable, and I have to adapt to the methodology or to the trainings, and then the style of playing in every country is different. So you cannot pretend to do your best thing in a place where they don't understand that. So you have to also adapt your style of play. I think that almost every time I found a way to do it. It's not that I didn't struggle, like in Germany some moments were tough, or in China or Russia, or even in US to adapt to this soccer chaos where it's all transitions. But I think I'm a better player and a more complete player thanks to all my experience and thanks to try to adapt to every time.
Well, speaking about struggles and challenges, what would you say were some of the biggest challenges that you had to face throughout your career?
Well, definitely one is this, like to adapt to different places and to do it quick, because you arrive as an important player. There are so many expectations, and it's not that, just adapt, don't worry, like you have to perform. So it's not easy to do it every time, and if things doesn't go well, like you have to show up. So like for sure that is one of the biggest challenge. Then culturally, or the language is also a tough thing. But in some way I even enjoyed also that. It was a challenge that motivated me.
National team.
Mm-hmm.
What did it mean for you to put that jersey on?
I think that, when you play football or when you do any sport, you know that to represent your country in a big tournament is the biggest thing, like a World Cup, a Euro Cup, or even a normal international game. So for me to be able to be in the national team, to be the captain, to stay there for 14 years, and to play in these big tournaments, it was really, really special, and I enjoyed every game and every moment, even though our situation, it was not the most professional at that time.
Well, that is my next question. Obviously, now we all know Spain is the World Cup, and you were one of those who had a huge impact and pretty much paved the way for those girls now in order, for them to be able to be world champions. First, what did you have to do? Like, what was the situation before?
Well, the situation before, it was that we have a coach that was 27 years, the same coach, with who we didn't want anything, and his ability to coach, it was really, really bad. So with him in charge of the national team, but also in charge of all women's football in Spain, our sport didn't grow in so many years and in so many different ways. So we didn't have good staff or almost no staff. We didn't get pay. We went to Canada to play the World Cup, and we arrived the day before of the game. We didn't have videos or analyze of our rivals, like so many things. So when we lost in the group stage in that World Cup, it was the moment that we say, okay, this is enough. And it was that moment, because until then it was like I was in the national team for 14 years. And even before, like there were always players that wanted to do something. Mm-hmm. But in the moment that they complained, they never came back. So you just pay the consequence and nobody else do anything. So that moment in Canada 2015, it was the first time that everyone was agree and everyone was involved, because also we contact all the captains in all the teams. So we were sure that, okay, now the 23, we didn't call you, but now we call a new 23, but they will say no, because they are agree with what we are demanding. So we just needed some changes, and we tried to be honest with the coach and tell him that it was the moment for a change. Obviously he didn't took it in the best way, and we start kind of a war with our federation, and at the end they changed the coach, and things start to change it. But some of us, we pay the consequence, and we never came back. But the next World Cup, we make it until quarterfinals, and the next World Cup, Spain won the World Cup. So it was clear that we were right, and that we have always have the talent and the opportunities to be better and to compete and be one of the best in the world. But that process never happened, because other people that was around didn't help us to succeed. So like for us now to see that in a short time Spain just showed to the world that we are the best, is quite satisfactory. At the same time, of course, it's like, why this didn't happen before, or why I have to pay the consequence. But at the end, I have no regrets. And if I come back in the time, I will do exactly the same. And sometimes I feel that everyone has their own space in the history, and at that time you have to do your job. And the same that so many women opened so many doors before. Myself and my teammates, we try to do the same at the moment that we have to act.
Yeah, I guess that's a part of the leadership, right? If you're a true leader, that's you put that first, like in front of your kind of like your needs or your wants individually. It's interesting because I was in a pretty much similar situation. We didn't win the World Cup yet, but we managed to change the coach, and now we went from playing in the Nations League C to playing in the Nations League A, which will happen in like this March. And it's interesting because as a player who is in that situation like you were or I was before, you think, what is worst? Potentially losing your spot on the national team, or staying in the same situation knowing that things won't get better if you don't do something. So I think it's kind of, it's a situation that I would do the same like you did, and we did the same. I was lucky that my teammates were also on the same page with me, and we were lucky that Slovenia is very small and there was no one else to call.
Yeah, exactly.
They did, threaten us that they will call U19, but those are kids, and on the end, obviously we succeeded, and it's probably one of the biggest and the best things I've ever did as far as big decisions. And so I'm proud of you, because I think that being part of a huge country, it's not easy to do that, especially sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, I think that it's also depending of your character, your values, your principles. There are probably some players that prefer to keep their spot or their comfort zone and just take advance for that. And then there are others that they have a bigger goal, that think more about them sport and not just them on situations. What is right and what is wrong, of course, for me, is right to do what we did or what I did. But then if you think about the success, individual success, maybe the other will give you more satisfaction. I don't know. I just think that if in the past other women didn't do anything, not for themselves, for the rest, right now I couldn't be a professional player, and then it's kind of like, okay, I pay you back, and maybe in the future other pay me back to me. So I think it's how it works.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. And speaking about being a leader, how do you lead? You're definitely one of the leaders. What leadership means to you, and how do you lead?
I think that I lead with example, because I'm professional, I'm competitive, I'm ambitious, so I always demanding more and better, and that's my way to lead. I try to do my best, so I'm at the same time I'm pushing you to do your best, and if you don't do your best, I will tell you that that's not good enough. So then I also can lead with my voice, because I know I have a big character or a strong personality. But when I think about lead, it's also like just give something to the others. So it's like, okay, I lead you, but I want you to take something, and then you lead others. So for me, when I leave a team, I'm really satisfied if I leave someone there that it took something from my leadership. And then it's not something that is in my mind, oh, you have to lead. It comes just naturally. I want to win, I want to train good, I want things to improve. So at the end, it's just a leadership that is just natural.
No, yeah, you definitely do keep people accountable. I remember, I don't know if it was one of the trainings or one of the games, you came to me and you were like, did you see me? I was like, well, if you saw me and you decided not to pass to me, that's okay. But if you didn't see me, then you have to put yourself in a better position.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but that's a clear example about also leadership. Like, is what I told you, no? It's not that I have to tell you what you have to do. You have to be able to see it yourself and then to decide. Because if I tell you, oh, you have to pass me the ball, but you didn't see me, then it's like, then there is other problem before. So I like also sometimes just put these questions to the players, and that make them to think and say like, oh, just think about it, and then it's like, oh yeah, you are right on this. Or I think that sometimes you just have to activate also the players in training, so you push them in the right direction.
No, yeah, and definitely then it's up to me, you know, if I'm offended or if I'm angry at you, or if I take that as an opportunity, you know, and something as a good advice or a good push towards me trying to get better. So I'm definitely on that note right now, since we're at the leadership, grateful for you to be my teammate, to be my captain. Especially I can learn a lot, and I'm trying to learn a lot from you. So yeah, thank you for being here. Culture. How important for you is the team culture, and how do you create that?
For me, it's really important, and it's really difficult. Like I struggle a lot to create a culture, because it's really difficult to find or to arrive to a place that already have the culture. I don't know if in men's football that can be different, but in women's football, maybe because we don't have that much history, or because it's changing a lot, that you have like a generation of players that are different, and different mentalities. Some are more amateurs, others are more professional. Some get more money, others get less. So it's not easy. And here at Como it's even more difficult, because everything is new. So then it's like you have to create everything. But at the same time, it's a great opportunity to create the culture right, and be able to put some things that are the basic. And yeah, for me it's important, because also that culture, when you have bad moments, is what stays. And then it's always easier to restart from a base than restart from the scratch. So I think it's really important to also find the right people, that is clear what we want, is clear the culture that we want to create, is clear how we're gonna do it, but then people have to follow until everything is solid. And it's not easy, because sometimes there are things that not everyone is agree, or not everyone see it in the same way. But it's a little like the character of a person. So for me, the culture of a team is a little the same, and also the club has to be clear on that. It's not that a player or a captain or a group of players create the culture, then it has to be the same line with the staff, the same principles than the management people, and the same that every worker in the club. So when you have all that, everything is fantastic. But to create that is, it's a big challenge.
No, yeah, it definitely has to be a clear set of kind of core values and principles. And I think that it has to come from the top, you know, because if the top, they're not following that, then you can expect from the players to follow those things.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a very strong direct personality.
I have.
Have you ever doubted yourself?
No doubt, but sometimes you think I'm being too direct. I should change the way of acting or saying the things. And I think during my career, I've been changing things, because you are never the same person, or you are never the same player. But yeah, like if I dub or I change, then it won't be me. So I think it's part of myself to be like that, and just find a way to be always in a respectful way, but it's also one of my capacities, like to push people in that direction. So when a club sign me, it's no signing the player that do things with the foot. Like they sign also like what I can give to the team and to my teammates, to the staff, and sometimes maybe then it's like, oh, but it could be too much or not, or yeah, but you want this or not.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm no doubt. For me, it's like I have some things that are clear, and I know that in some environments sometimes it's no well accepted. But then it's like the problem is in my way of doing things or seeing things, or is the environment that was not prepared or not good enough. So you always have to find a balance. It's true, but yeah, like I'm not that much doubt about myself or my way of doing things.
Well, obviously, to be honest, I don't think you would have a career that you had if you would doubt yourself in many cases. So
no, yeah, that's for sure. But it's true that at the end it's about relations, it's about dealing with people, to manage people, groups, so many interrelations. But it's what we were saying before, if the culture is clear, then it's easier to have a space for all these different personalities, and everyone can give them best because you know the limits clearly. But if I push a lot on the right side and you want to go to the left, then the limit is too big, then it's difficult and you can find problems. But every time that I find environment that wanted to improve and were open to push everyone, is when also the performance were better.
No, yeah, and obviously when you have that set of rules, it's easier to keep people accountable for whatever we have. This is the thing, and you're pushing it with that. You are definitely one of the fittest, if not the fittest person I've ever played with. And you are almost 40. So, my friend, what do you do?
I cannot tell you the secret.
I really want to know. Come on.
I guess, it's not a secret. It's so many years of taking care of myself. And when people say, oh, what you do for being able to play in the highest level for so long, it's like, obviously I have to be eating well for so many years, training well for so many years, doing all the invisible training for so many years. It's not that I didn't take care of myself and now when I'm 38, I want to be fit. This doesn't work like that. But I really think that the secret is just to find the balance. You cannot be too healthy. You cannot be too unhealthy. You cannot be too much in one side. It's true that in the last 8 years I'm doing intermittent fasting. Is that the secret? I don't know. I eat health. Yes, I eat healthy, but I enjoy pizza and I enjoy taking a beer after a game. So just to find a balance that allow you to be good, to enjoy life, and at the same time thinking that tomorrow in the morning I have to train. So I use my body, so what I have to put in my body to perform well, try the things that work, see or delay the things that doesn't work. And during my career, I have been trying different things. And there are moments where a lot of supplements, and moments where no supplements at all. And others where just focusing extra training, others where no, just relax and enjoy life. So at the end, you just have to find a balance, and the theory, everyone knows the theory. But then you have to do it. And the week has 7 days, and the days have 24 hours. And if you do something correctly for 5-6 days, then the results will be better than if you do it just 1 or 2 days. That's all.
I agree. Definitely agree. Obviously, speaking of you being fit, you can clearly keep on playing. What is left? Like, what do you still want to accomplish in your playing career?
Well, right now, my only goal is to bring Como to Serie A. That's the reason why I came here, and that was the reason why I accepted the challenge. Obviously, I could be playing in Serie A or in any other top league, but in the moment of my career right now, to be able to help a project and a team to reach the highest level is the same motivation that years ago was to win a title or to put a team in a Champions League spot. So the challenge is there, the motivation is there, and right now and also it's something that I have never done. Like I never bring a team to a higher level. Like I was always playing in a higher level, so I couldn't experience that. So that's something that right now is a goal left. So I hope at the end of the season is checked. And then we'll see what is the future. We see if there are other interested goals, or maybe I'm done and I'm ready for the next chapter.
Speaking of next chapter, you're already doing some things next to playing. You're doing commentating for TV. How did you get into that? Why do you do that?
Yeah, I do TV and I do radio. So when I'm here at Como, I do Champions League. So I normally do Real Madrid games, men football, but also sometimes like some women games. And then with the TV, it's kind of my biggest job right now. I do the men and the women Spanish national team. I have enjoyed already 3 Euro Cups to the women in the women's side, the last one in the men's side, and this next summer I'm gonna be in US covering also the men World Cup. So the opportunity came. They called me to commentate a Champions League final, women Champions League final. I think it was here in Turin. So I say, yeah, I mean, let's try. If you want to, if you want me, I can try. And then I just like it, because it's like to be here sitting in the couch, watching the game and commentating with you, or when I'm at home doing it with my dad. So I enjoy it to do it. From the stadium is great because you have like a better view for the tactical part, but also you see and you feel like what is going on, and if there is tension or not. And also I like the radio, like it's really chill. I'm in my couch with my connected to the studio, watching the Champions League and just commentating. And it's also really satisfied that now in a sport that is being historically really macho thing, they accept that you have a technical, tactical expert that is a woman. And sometimes you have to, or especially in the beginning, I have the expectations were high. And it was kind of like I was the first one in Spain doing it, like covering the men national team. And then it's like, you have to do a good job, because for sure it's going to be people that criticize.
Talking, yeah.
but you have the opportunity to do something really good, and then you just get that pressure that is the same that in the big games. So I'm fortunate, I'm lucky enough to be able to handle that pressure, and I kind of enjoy it. So now when I have big games to commentate, I just love it.
You're warming up for a game.
Yeah, exactly. I prepare some things about the game. That's something that also people ask me, how much time you need to prepare a game, or the Euros or the next World Cup. Obviously, when it's a big tournament and you don't know that much about maybe the other national team, so you need some information, you have to watch some games. But at the end, I commentate that game. So I can have a lot of information about how the teams played before, or the players, or anything. But at the end, my job is to commentate what is happening right now, the technical things, the tactical part, and that I can have all the information possible. But all of we know that at the end, football, it just changes depending the moment. And also that part that is you never know, that's also something that I really like.
I have two last questions for you before I let you go. First one, you obviously have some coaching badges already. You want to be a coach, but you want to be a coach of a male team. Why? And what is the difference?
I want to coach in men's football because I think it's the highest level, and also I think because it's a crystal ceiling that we still have to break. In the moment that you can see a women coach coaching Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, or any other, and it's no surprise, then that's the moment that we are really equal. I know that it's going to take time, but I know it's going to happen. So I don't know if it's going to be me or it's going to be any other women. I don't care who is the first. But in my case, if I want to be a professional coach and I want to be in the highest level, right now the highest level is men's football. So that's one of the reasons. But at the same time, it's not that I just want to train in men's football. That's kind of the dream or the challenge, but I will love that any coach, women or men, took any job in men or in women football just because it's a challenge or because they want that job, not because it's men or women football. So maybe one day we see Pep Guardiola in the women's side, and we see some of us in the men's side. And someone has to prove that that's possible. And unfortunately, you have to prove it because it should be clear that it's possible. But I think it's something that also doesn't depend on me, or at least not just on me. I think I need an environment or a club or a management person that really believe on that, and for any reason I just want the chance and to be prepared to do the best with that chance.
Well, it seems like you've been first of many things, so I feel like you are a very good candidate to be the first of this as well.
Well, if there is any other that is first, I'm happy enough.
Well, the last question. What would you say to someone who has a dream and is afraid to pursue those dreams, or is afraid to dream at all?
I think that in my career, I have no regrets. So I think that's something that is really powerful. So when someone is afraid to dream or to do something or even to think about it, then it's the time fly and then it's never come back. So if it doesn't happen, if you try and it doesn't happen, it's okay. But to have that inside that you didn't try enough or that you even didn't believe enough, I think that's something that stays with you and can mark your life, not just in sport, in general. So I will push everyone to at least try. I also feel like people like, oh, if you try and you don't do it right, like it's a huge mistake. It's something that, like, for me, is not like that. Like you can try to win a title and lose it, and it's not the end of the war. So you just do your best. You try. In the process, you grow, and if you have to become like a professional player, great. If not, but you try it, at least you know that you try it. And that's gives you freedom inside, and that's really important.
Well, Vero, thank you. Thank you for,
Thank you.
First of all, coming here, saying yes. Finally, we were able to do that. Thank you for being a great teammate. I'm very honored to be able to share the locker room with you for the second time already. I really, really, really wish that you have many more years on the pitch, and they're equally impactful and great as everything that you've lived so far. And obviously, that after you're done, you have a great career in whatever you choose to do, because I feel like obviously many doors are already opening for you, and whenever you say goodbye to being in the cleats on the pitch, many more doors are going to open. So I really wish you all the best with everything, and again, thank you for being here. It's an honor.
Thank you for having me, and for a nice conversation, and let's bring Como to Serie A and help me to do the check.
I'll do my part.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.